So, hello there everyone and welcome, it is Niren here, and today it is time for me to bring you another FIFA concept video. Now, we've done a lot of these in the past. We've obviously had the club creator, we've had loads of different things. We've also had the World Cup concept, the Champions League concept, and today we're going with another feature that would be absolutely unreal in future FIFAs. Today, we're going to be looking at what owner mode would look like in FIFA career mode, and this is something that has been mentioned in the comment section loads and loads and loads of times as a game mode that would literally change the game completely. Being able to control your club as an owner rather than just as the manager. Now, if you go on to enjoy this video, then slap a like on it. Subscribe, of course, if you're new to the channel for content like this. It's that big red button, under the video, and it really helps me out. As per usual, I'll be showing off a concept, talking you through it, and talking you through the ideas and features that would go along with this game mode. And once again, I'd like to say a massive thank you to OneFootball for sponsoring this video. It is a football news app where you can get fixtures, results, and of course news about the clubs that you are interested in. There'll be a link in the description for you to download it on both the App Store and on Android as well. However, it is time to get into the design, and I'm going to be showing you two sort of templates or two concepts. One is basically it's the load up screen, if you like, and here it is in the background. Or, well, maybe not the load up screen, but the screen, you know, when you get a career mode and you can choose between being a player career and a manager career, it's basically the same thing. And on the screen we've got RTG mode and free mode. So this would obviously be the choice that you get before you actually start your owner mode save. And the difference really is it's explained on the screen in terms of the tiles, but really the only difference is RTG mode locks you into a Road to Glory style owner mode. So basically you take maybe your local side, you can maybe even create that side with the help of the concept from the last video, of which there'll be a link in the top right of the screen. You can maybe create your own side and take them from the very bottom to the top. So it literally would be a Road to Glory, and it forces you into taking a 1-star or 1.5-star side, or maybe even a 2-star side from League 2, and building them up into one of the biggest teams in the world. Or equally, you could choose free mode on the right hand side, and you can just choose whichever team you would like, whether it be a mid-table side or one that is already a big team, coming in as a billionaire or whatever, oil oligarch or whatever, taking over whatever team you would like, whether it be Man City, Liverpool, Juventus, Real Madrid, for crying out loud. Whatever team you want to take over, you could choose them by choosing free mode. So once you've chosen the type of owner mode save you would like to do, whether it be a Road to Glory or a free mode style, you get to this point, and this is the main menu. This is the main concept design, and there is a lot to it, to be honest with you, so I'm going to talk you through it in decent depth. I'm only showing off one screen in terms of the design, just to help you get a feel of what it would actually look like, but obviously I will talk you through the other tabs. You can see, speaking of the tabs, at the top you've got clubs, investments, staff, site, and history. Now, I know it all sounds very different, but I will sort of guide you through that one. We are on clubs at the moment, so I'll talk you through that first. You've got the usual attend match and skip match. That is the equivalent to play match and sim match on career mode. So you obviously, maybe if this was to happen, you would be able to play the matches, but it wouldn't really be that realistic, although I guess as a manager you don't actually play the matches, do you? On you know, in real life, but in career mode or manager mode you do. But I would probably prefer it, to be honest with you, if it was an attend match situation. You can play the matches on career mode. I don't see why you would end up playing matches in a game mode where you're the owner of the football club. So you can attend the match as you would on like Football Manager, for example, where you just watch the game happen, or you can just skip it completely and it'll just be like a sim like you have in career mode. You've got team selection there down on the left hand side. Now what that basically means is that is the teams that you own. So even if you owned more than one side, if you owned Notts County but you also had shares in another team, which I'll talk about in the investments part, you could skip between those, and then all these things, all these tiles on the screen would change. So the news would then alter to the next team. So if it was Notts County, obviously you've got the men's side and then the women's side for Notts County. So if you switched over to the women's side, you'd get news about them. You'd get the confidence over on the right hand side of the manager of that team, rather than the one that you've got selected here being the men's side. So that's what that is. We've got office here, which is to handle board matters. Now, this is stuff like ticket pricing and the budget allocation for the manager, which coincidentally might affect the confidence the manager has in you. I'll get onto that in a moment. But yeah, setting all sorts of prices and sorting out sponsors maybe that are going to be sponsoring the stadium or sponsoring the shirts or all that sort of stuff. We've got season as well, where you can obviously keep up to date with how your teams are doing in terms of the actual league tables, in terms of player stats, team stats, all that sort of thing, so you know maybe who to pressurize your manager into buying or selling or what to do, because obviously you can have a bit of an input maybe on trying to get your manager to buy certain players or buy players in certain positions. When you're on manager mode, you get certain calls from the board to say, you know, you need to buy a striker. You'd be involved in those decisions as well, and obviously you would need to know how your team's actually doing over the course of a season to be able to gauge what your manager needs to buy. And then on the right hand side, I did mention it briefly, we've got the news section. That's pretty self-explanatory, but the confidence levels are going to be very important. They're split into two. We've got manager and fans, but I'm sure realistically, if this was to be implemented, you could have 3 or 4 maybe barometers of actual overall owner confidence. We've got the manager there and the fans. Now, the manager basically, the confidence fluctuates in terms of how much backing you are giving to him. So if you decide to give him a ridiculously large budget, then that manager confidence is going to improve, or if you're giving him a lot of feedback on players that he should be buying and they're doing well, then that feedback's going to go quite high. But equally, if you're quite stingy with the money you get, equally if you're quite stingy with the money that you're going to give him and you're not necessarily giving him too much advice, that confidence may drain. Similarly, in terms of the fans, if the results are going well and you're pumping a lot of money into the club and looking very dedicated as a club owner, that confidence will rise or fluctuate dependent on how into the club you appear according to the fans. And if that confidence level goes too far down, like in manager mode, you may well be pressured out of the club and may need to look for some other team to buy. So I guess that's pretty much the general gist of the club section, which is I guess the main part of the owner mode. But we've got 4 other ones that I will just briefly talk you through. They're not on the screen, obviously. We've got investments, which is basically where maybe your, well, obviously where your net worth and how much you actually have to spend will be. So if you want to go out and put shares into another club or just buy another club outright, then obviously you'll be able to see it from here. You'll have a tab of all the businesses on all the clubs that you have shares in or that you own. This might also be where you want to have affiliate clubs as well. So with Chelsea, they have an affiliation with Vitesse Arnhem, so they loan players out. You may also want to organise some of these. So if you're Notts County and you're now in the Premier League, you may want to have an affiliation with a side down in League 2 or a side in the French 2nd Division or whatever, so you can loan players out there. The staff tab is pretty self-explanatory. This is where if you're not confident in your manager or any sort of member of staff like chief executive, you would obviously dip into the staff pool and you can pick new staff and hire them and whatever. Equally, if you want a new contract for your manager, give him a new contract. That's where you negotiate with your members of staff into the deals that they want, the wages that they want, and generally have a bit of a barometer of how much you're spending on the staff as well. You'll maybe get the actual figure that you're spending on the staff in this tab as well, and you can compare that to the amount of money that you're earning. The site tab is really to do with the actual infrastructure of the club that you're focusing on. Obviously, that will change again when you go to team selection, but that will be basically where you can improve the stadium, for example, improve the capacity, look at the training ground, the youth facilities, the club shop, all of that sort of stuff. If you have money to spare and you feel like it needs improving, then that is where you're going to be going into, delving into that section and improving those areas. And then history is pretty self-explanatory. It's basically the history of your career and your ownership of the club. Maybe you can compare it to the history of the club before you bought it or before you owned it, and you can get a general season by season estimate of how well the club is doing under your guidance. And obviously the main goal of this is to raise a small club to the top of European and world football, or if you're taking over a team in free mode that is already at that, is to maintain their status at the top of that. But mainly is to actually provide stability. You don't want to be going out and making raucous decisions all the time, because the confidence levels are going to be fluctuating all over the shop, and you are actually in control of that club existing, not just the manager and, you know, how well they do in a season. You're actually in control of that club existing. Maybe if there was an online version as well, that would be pretty damn cool. Maybe I could make a sort of concept for that, or for career mode. If you want to see me do an online career mode concept, then drop it down in the comment section below. That is pretty much it for this concept though. If you've enjoyed it, slap a like on the video, and of course subscribe if you're new to the channel. Let me know what you would like to see in owner mode if it was to be implemented into FIFA. Personally, I think it would be absolutely awesome, and it would add a whole new dynamic to offline gameplay, generally speaking. It would be so good. Oh my days. Let me know how you think it would turn out down in the comments section. If you want to follow me on social media, you can do. My Twitter handle is @theofficialfng, and my Instagram is the same. Links are down below, as well as to the OneFootball app. Big thank you to them again for sponsoring this one. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a great day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.